What's going on, guys? Coach Andrew from C2C Podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can realign inside of your business with proper purpose instead of just setting goals that you never hit. And this actually comes off of a call that I had with several clients this week, all talking about achieving goals that for some reason have been on their schedule or inside of their business for a really long time. And listen, I'm not against goals. I love creating and setting goals. That being said, I think we're taught that you have to have a SMART goal. We have to have some type of a destination that we're always working towards. And in working towards the destination, we lose the journey, we lose the passion, and sometimes we actually become disconnected and out of alignment with the goal. And that's the reason why we're not hitting it. Instead of setting goals, I would always encourage coaches to realign what they are looking to achieve with their purpose, because the purpose of every coaching business is completely different. Sometimes the purpose involves money. Hey, I want to make a good financial life for my family. And that's totally fine. But finances is just one aspect. So we can't go and create a purpose of our business or a mission and vision around what we're trying to do solely on metric of success. And that is effectively what financials are. There are a lot of coaches who say, I want to make 50K a month, or I want to make 50K a month. And when I ask them why do you want to hit 50K? Why did 50K become the number for you? They have no idea. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they've plucked that idea or that goal from either someone else's marketing or from someone else's business, because they believe that that is what success is. So let's talk about the goal piece first, and then I'll go and I'll talk about how you should lead with purpose instead. When we are setting goals inside of our businesses, typically for a coaching business and for coaches who are looking to attract people with health and fitness, the goals are always going to be how many clients we have, how much money we're making, or some really big project that we're working on. Like, I want to be able to fill my group coaching container to 50 people by the end of this year. Okay. Or I want to be able to 30K months or 50K months consecutively, 6 months in a row. Awesome. Or even, I want to be able to do a retreat this year. Amazing. Those are all really, really great goals, but there comes to a point in time in your business where sometimes goals might not be fully in alignment with you. Like, I change my goals all the time based off of what I need in the moment and what makes the most sense. So as an example, if you're someone who's really struggling to get stable recurring revenue in like 30K months consistently month over month, you could have a goal to write a book or to do a retreat, but in reality, what's going to take priority is you getting that stable recurring revenue before you move forward on that other goal. Another thing with goals as well too that I see coaches doing is they set a time frame based off of what they think it should take, or truthfully what their impatience believes the time frame of that goal should be. And that's another hard part about goals. When you go and you set a specific goal or a SMART goal, it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic. There's a time to it. That's what a SMART goal is. And so all coaches will look at that and say, well, I want to make K within a 6-month period, month over month. Okay, cool. But is it actually realistic? Are you prepared to make 50K a year from now, or a year and a half from now? Are you prepared to make 50K next week? Because sometimes the goal that we set, we give ourselves a really long time frame, when in reality it can happen just like that. You see, a lot of coaches, when they're setting goals, their goals and the time frame and the expectations behind the goal is set largely on impatience. It's not set by connectivity. And when we're setting goals, it's not enough for it to be something that we're working towards, because that's always being destination focused. If you think about it, you don't want your clients to be destination focused, because those people actually aren't coachable. I can't tell you how many times in both business and in health coaching I've come across people who are like, but I want to be 30 pounds down tomorrow. But I want to have 50K tomorrow. 100%, but you know what? It took you 3 years to get to this point where you've built up 30 pounds of weight. What makes you think it's going to take you 30 days to take it off? And this is where doing the work, being patient, fully embodying the message, enjoying the journey becomes more valuable than just setting the goal. Another thing that I've come across too is there are going to be a lot of clients who are obsessed with a goal because they have a need, a desperation. They're like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds so bad because I've been overweight my whole life. And the moment they hit that 30 pounds, because they did something drastic to get there, they were stressed out the whole time in order to make this happen. By the time they hit the goal, they're not even excited about it. And this is where sometimes in your business, you can set a goal, and when you achieve it, you don't feel any better. You don't feel any different. And you're saying to yourself, well, I don't get it. I thought that I wanted 30K in my business, but I hit it and it didn't light me up. I thought that I wanted to hit 50 clients in my business, but I got there and I still feel the same. This destination to get there, to achieve the thing, to just hurry up and be there, that's actually not going to make you feel fulfilled in business. And this is why the conversation I want to have today is how you can set purpose-driven goals, how you can create a goal that is derived off of purpose, that actually is free of a time frame, free of an expectation, that is something that is empowering to you. Because as coaches, the things that we love, the things that expand us, the things that excite us every day, that's the stuff that's going to happen. That's the stuff that is guaranteed to manifest and work well inside of our businesses and inside of our lives. The stuff that we have an abundance worth of energy because we're just so fired up to do it. That's going to be the thing that gets us the results. So let's talk about the purpose first. Inside of your business, some of you guys may not have even thought of what the purpose of your coaching business is. And that's okay. Maybe you're like, hey, I just wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be able to build a company. Now I'm making 20, 30K a month. And I'm like, oh, okay, is there anything more to this? Is there something else that I should be looking for? That's fine. Some of you maybe started off with an original purpose and you were like, my purpose was to help people who had the same health issue as me. Maybe you're teaching someone with weight loss because you had a weight loss journey. Maybe you're teaching someone with digestion because you struggled with your digestion. That's all good. Your initial purpose of building your business is going to shift once you hit the point of all of your expenses are covered. Because what happens now is you're no longer trying to make a paycheck and you're trying to make an impact. You're no longer trying to get income, but you're trying to spread your message. So now this is where we have to change what the purpose of our business is, and we actually have to sit down and say, what is my purpose with this? So I will share with you my purpose and then explain how we find the purpose within ourselves. When I created Coach to Coach, I was perfectly happy doing hormone coaching. I was perfectly happy running a business that did $1.4 million in its final year. That was great. I was making the money. I had a great amount of clients. We were selling regularly. There was no issues with that. But why I was called to do something completely out and build this business inside of Coach to Coach was because I was tired of seeing other coaches go to other professionals, work with other coaches, go as a part of these mentorships, and they would learn the same cookie cutter regurgitated stuff that was taught by a bunch of other gurus, and they wouldn't see the results, and so they'd still be stuck. And so every time I was sharing with them about how amazing my hormone coaching business was, they were telling with me how frustrated they were with their experience. They were telling me how many times they've tried and it didn't work. How many times they've gone through mentor after mentor, and they're like, I feel like I'm learning the same thing, but I'm not actually seeing the results. And that was disappointing. It was disappointing not because I wanted them to see something better or I wanted them to make their money back. What was disappointing to me was that I have worked with a ton of mentors who taught me right, who showed me that by doing the work, by going all in, by applying the tools, by being diligent, like I would see the result, and it did work, and it helped me make the best life possible. But I also know too that through the process, there were a lot of things as a mentor that wasn't communicated with me. And I promise, guys, this is still on purpose. What wasn't communicated to me was that a mentor's job wasn't to come in and fix my business. It was for me to pick and choose what was in alignment with me so I could already work towards the things that I was working on. I had to be the one to implement. I had to be the one who was self-led. I had to be the one who was all in. I had to be the one that was extra passionate and fired up and make decisions outside of the information that I was learning. That no one would build my business for me, that no one would find the clients for me, that no one would increase my recurring revenue for me just by giving a templated landing page. I had to make the stuff my own. I had to attract my own clients, and I had to be passionate and show up 100% as the coach that those clients needed to hear from, that those clients needed to see every day. And that's how we got 4,400 clients. My mentor actually wasn't responsible for any of that. What they were responsible for was showing me what I was doing wrong, showing me how I was in my way, and then making sure that I was using the right tools at the right time. And so when I started to hear from all of these coaches that they were not applying the tools, that they were struggling to see the results, and I was recognizing like, holy shit, these mentors are not telling them the main thing of why they are all there, which is like, you need to be the person to get out of your own way. You need to be the one to embody. I was like, they deserve to know this. They deserve to know what my mentor told me that was fundamentally responsible for my success inside of my business. And so I took a look at both my hormone coaching company and this potential coach to coach, and I said, what is going to serve the original purpose of me building my business in the first place? And the original business that I had, the hormone coaching company, my purpose that I set out from the very beginning is I want no one to go through the same hormone issues that I went through because it fucked me up. A lot of the hormone issues that I had made me lose my job. I couldn't work because I was so exhausted. I was bouncing from doctor to doctor. Then it went from hospital to hospital. No one took me seriously, and that sucked. It sucked because I felt like I was alone. And so when I started working with health coaching people, at the beginning it was, yeah, look, I want to have a revenue for myself. But then the purpose grew, and it got me to a place where I was like, I don't care how many people I'm working with. I need to show them that from a hormone perspective, there's a solution out there for them. That from a nutrition perspective, they can balance their hormones. That there is something, someone, a place, a community available for them where they could be seen, where they could be heard, where they could see a result, and where they could finally stop this cycling inside of their brain that there was no help for them. And I told myself I want to change 5,000. That was my purpose. And so it became very easy for me to show up with the hormone coaching and to share every day. So as I started hearing and listening to all of these coaches say to me that they were really struggling to get clients, that they were struggling to build their business, that they were struggling to find people to help, I said, what an amazing opportunity to be able to align with my original purpose of helping more people in health by helping these coaches get more clients, by helping these coaches find the empowerment inside of themselves so that way they could change 5,000 people's lives, not just change through me. Because it took me 8 years to change 4,400 lives. The only way that we get bigger, the only way that we go better than that is either if I hire a bunch of other coaches under me and get them to work with people, or I empower other coaches who are just as incredible as I am as a coach and get them to sign on more clients, get them to work with more people, get them to work with 4,400 clients each. And so my purpose became bigger with coach to coach, which is why I went all in on that. It's why I do these YouTube videos. It's why I show up on my TikTok and on my Instagram, and I do free trainings and I do masterclasses and webinars, and I'm out there providing value every day because I know it's the difference between a coach being successful and a coach not being successful. I'm so clear on my purpose inside of coach to coach. I know who I want to help. I know why I want to help them. And the why comes back to the very beginning of my own journey, of being the person coming out of a hospital visit with just a tag, a prescription for a medication, and a good luck chuck. I was like, never again. I never want anyone to experience that. And I know that as a coach, I can't be the only person sharing the message. This is why my purpose is to empower other coaches. So in showing you my purpose, I'm showing you where the purpose came from. Because as a coach, your purpose can't just be, I want to have clients, I want to make money, I want to get reoccurring revenue. Those are really just needs and goals. Your purpose comes down to your why, and your why has to be strong. And I promise you, you have an original why that you have not looked at in a really long time. I call it MVV, mission, vision, values. You created your coaching business because someone changed your life or something in your health changed, and you said, I believe that I can do this. I believe that I can provide the same thing to other people. That's your mission. You already have it. You know it. It's what made you start coaching in the first place. Now you need to clarify and understand your vision. I know my vision. I know my vision is not 5,000 clients, but 5,000 coaches who help 5,000 people. That's my vision. My vision is yearly retreats. My vision is weekly masterclasses, monthly seminars, hundreds of people working with us. My vision is always expanding, bigger, but it has the same root as the original mission, which is to empower coaches to a point where their clients don't have to suffer or struggle anymore. You need to be clear on what the mission is, and then you need to be clear on what the vision is. How do you see yourself coaching long term? Is it a team? Is it a few people? Is it in a group? Is it one-on-one? Is it via DM? Is it Telegram? But then think bigger than that. How is you helping your clients gonna help the families that they're a part of? Gonna help the relationships that they're connected to? Gonna help them spiritually, emotionally? Or is your coaching gonna grow into something outside of what you're doing just now? If you can't clearly have that in your vision, if you're like, I don't see it, my question to you is your mission clear enough? Because if you don't have a very powerful mission, you're not going to have a clear vision. And that's probably why you're not making any more money. It's probably why you have the same amount of clients over and over again. It's not sales. It's not the fact that you're not getting enough leads. It's that your vision and your mission is not powerful enough for this, for you to be able to drive sales and to drive leads. And so you need to take a look at that. Once you have your mission and your vision, this is where you have to look at the values. What really matters to you during your coaching company? Values are important. For me, there's a large value in information. I don't value information. I value implementation. And my value in running and creating Coach to Coach is giving stuff that people can implement, not just giving stuff that people can learn. Because a lot of coaches do a lot of learning. They take a lot of certifications. You're doing a lot of courses, but you're never actually implementing on the shit, which is why your client base isn't growing day over day. So for me, I value implementation. That's a big value of mine. And so I implement every day. I create content every day, and I show coaches how they can implement. Another value of mine, which is really important, is I value speed. How can I just put my offer out there, even if it's not perfect? How can I get someone started on their journey without them taking 6 months to make a decision? How can I give them information up front for them to be able to just start to see some type of a result, even if they're not working with me? Speed is very important, because just like implementation, if it takes someone 6 months to go and see some type of a result or to go apply something, then you're not doing your job as a coach. Your values inside of your business are very important. You have to know what you value. If you value one-on-one conversations, don't build a program that doesn't have one-on-one conversations, because it's out of alignment with your values. If you value a group community, but you're out here trying to fill your one-on-one spots, yeah, again, that's not in alignment with your values that you have. If you value emotional connection, but then on your client calls, you're telling people, hey, listen, I want to cap your question to 2 minutes, and it doesn't give them enough to be emotionally bought in, you're out of alignment with the values that are there. Mission, vision, values. will help you create a purpose inside of your business. And when we are purpose driven, this is where we can set purpose driven goals. When I have a mission that's really clear, a vision that I can see expanding very well, and values in which I'm going to absolutely make and build all of my business decisions on, then I set goals. Because when I set a goal and I say, I want to have a group container that's so powerful that everyone going in it goes, oh my God, this person is speaking to me, that is a goal. That's a goal where I say, I want 500 people in this container. And I don't care if there's 2 in it today, I'm going to get 4 tomorrow, 8 the next day, 12 the next month, until there's 500 people here. That's a goal. And here's the best part about a goal set that way, a purposeful driven goal. A goal set that way is one that actually doesn't have an end. Surprise, coach, real goals don't have ends. They don't. Because the goal is always growing. 500 becomes 5,000. 5,000 becomes 10,000. 10,000 becomes 1,000,000. It always is something that becomes a moving target because you're excited to see, you're excited to push the boundaries of what's possible. A purpose-driven goal is a goal that even if it's so big you can't achieve it, you're still happy working towards it. I would love to see 1,000,000 coaches go through Coach to Coach. If I don't serve 1,000,000 coaches, that's okay. I'm still quite as happy serving whoever. I'm honored to be able to help through this process. So chances are, if you're not hitting goals inside of your business, if you keep putting up goals there over and over again and they're not working, it's probably because they're not your goals. They're someone else's goals. They're not goals that have any purpose that's attached to them, or you're just hunting for a destination to give you a temporary hit of dopamine and make you feel good. Sorry. That's just the truth. Setting a goal has to be more than that. There has to be purpose. There has to be real purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is inside of your coaching, this is where you are supposed to lean into a mentor. A mentor is not just about teaching you tips and tools. It's not just about teaching you how to sell, how to create a landing page. Yeah, those things are important, but you know that already as a coach. You know how to create copy. You know how to create landing pages. You know how to put your offer out there. But you're not in alignment with half of the stuff you're working towards. That's the problem. That's the real work. This is where leaning into a mentor like me is really important, because you can understand why you're not in alignment with those goals. And look, some coaches, truthfully, they're content making $30K a month every month for the rest of their life. They're like, I have an abundance of money. I have a small team of 4 people. I'm excited. It's amazing. Some people don't want $1 million businesses. Why, if the quality of your life doesn't change, making more than $10K a month? And that's the truth. Lorna and I, we haven't paid ourselves more than $10K a month for income because the quality of our life doesn't change. We have a beautiful house. We've traveled 3 times this year. We can do retreats. We can buy whatever we want. There's an abundance of money in our accounts. We're not limited to stuff. We don't pay attention to what we're spending on groceries, or we don't have to budget things. We have an abundant life. So if I were to say to myself, does Andrew want a $10 million business? Truthfully, I don't really care about that number. That number means nothing to me. What I want is to continue to help more coaches. And I want to work one-on-one with these coaches to see the transformation. I want to become business partners with their brand to show them how much is possible. I want to see that happen personally. That's what lights me up. So if you're not hitting your goals, it's because you're not in alignment with them. They're not for you. Or maybe they're someone else's goals. You had a mentor who did you dirty and was like, listen, you need to be making this much, or you need to be doing this way, or running your program this way, and you fell for it. Or maybe they didn't even say anything bad to you. Maybe that's how you interpreted it, which 9 times out of 10, there's no such thing as a bad coach or a mentor. It's just you were not in a space where you could receive the information right. Create the purpose. Be clear on your purpose. Spend a full day on your purpose if you have to. And if you don't know how to do that, if you're stuck doing that, lean into a mentor. Coach to Coach, we do a lot of purpose-driven goal setting. We do a lot of work going into why you are doing what you're doing. Because once you're lined up as a coach, holy crap, The offers you put out are fire because you got energy behind them. The containers that you're trying to fill really quickly because you're actually fired up about the containers. The programs you're running, they go smooth. They have no people with objections or problems or cancellations because the energy you bring doesn't allow them to cancel. They're like, this is so good, I have to stay and be here. But you can only get there when you have purpose behind what you're doing. So you know what it is. Reach out to me in the DMs if you need this support. And if you're in that spot where you're like, hey, look, I want to work through and have a business that's fired up and excited every day. Otherwise, work on your mission. Work on the vision, work on your values, and it doesn't have to be something you got to work 17 hours for, but you do have to be intentional about this time and visit it frequently. Otherwise, you're just going to go and abandon it on the sideline for shitty short-term goals anyways. That's all for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.